Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Go Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we're taking a look today, finally, as the New York Islanders have made some moves this summer, but there may still be more on the table, and we'll get to that in today's video. So let's get right into it. So the New York Islanders made a couple of key signings, and everybody, for Islanders fans, for the most part, hey, yeah, we got these guys signed, great. There's two names, though, that we didn't hear about, and there may be something more to that, so we'll get into that eventually. So the first thing we heard from Arthur Staple the other day was breaking news. The New York Islanders have re-signed forward Casey Suzikis to a 6-year deal that will pay him $2.5 million per season. This is a great contract for the New York Islanders, and honestly, this is a great contract for Casey Suzikis. Casey Suzikis has been a guy. I'm getting his jersey. I'm making that clear going into this season. I'm probably going to get a white Casey Suzikis jersey. I've been a fanboy of Suzikis since his time in Bridgeport. He is a guy that just... talk about the New York Islanders' identity and the franchise. Casey Suzikis is the New York Islanders. And Casey has been here for a long time now. He's grown up with the organization. He was drafted in the 4th round by the Islanders, and has now found some real success in the NHL, and maybe instead of taking more money somewhere else, the Islanders are able to lock up Zeker to a 6-year deal. Now, Casey Suzikis is 30 years old, and the Toronto native has been in the New York Islanders organization since 2009, when he was drafted in the 4th round, 92nd overall, and has now become one of the best 4th-line centers in the NHL. You could argue he's even a really talented 3rd-line center, but the Islanders have other options there. That's why Gabriel Pageau is there, because the Islanders are so stacked down the middle. In his time with the Islanders, he's played in almost 600 NHL games through the first 2 weeks. By the end of October, barring injury, Suzikis will have played 600 games with the Islanders. He has 185 points. He's not the flashy point-scoring sniper. He's the defensive-minded, shut-down, penalty-killing, just agitating guy to play against. That's Casey Suzikis' role. And there were rumors earlier this summer Suzikis had fielded offers from the New York Rangers. He had fielded offers maybe from the Seattle Kraken, who were offering almost as much as $5 million per year for Suzikis. I don't know how true those rumors necessarily are, but there were plenty of teams looking at Zeker down the middle. And Suzikis took a huge pay cut to stay with the Islanders. And I wonder if Lou Lamoriello said to him, listen, you play better under our system. You play better under Barry Trotz. You play better with guys like Matt Martin and Cal Clutterbuck on your line as the identity line. You may not have that same success if you leave the Islanders organization and go elsewhere. And I think the Islanders were able to get an absolute bargain for Suzikis. Now, there is one bad thing about this. It is a 6-year deal, but the good news is it's $2.5 million per year. So it's not like you're giving him $4 million for 6 years and you're going the distance. No. Like, this is a really, really, really good contract. Definitely a Lou Lamoriello-led contract for sure. And I really like that deal for both sides, if I'm going to be completely honest. So that was the first bit of news that we kind of got sprinkled to us and kind of teasing what was to come. And the second one being that there were rumors that Anthony Beauvillier was next on the list. According to Arthur Staple, and quote, another Isles contract that has agreed but still on the to-be-filed list. Anthony Beauvillier has a 3-year deal believed to be worth $4.1 million per season. Source said at LP Geek, posted on it a few days ago. Bunch of other deals are done but not yet filed, of course. So it ended up being very close to what Arthur Staple had rumored. It was a 3-year, $4.15 million AAV deal, a $15 million contract for Anthony Beauvillier. A great contract for or $12.3 million. Apologize for that. $12.3 million for 3 years. I love this contract for both sides. Again, Anthony Beauvillier is a really nice piece for the Islanders. He may not be that scoring guy, again, but he fits the Islanders mold, and that's really what you get from a guy like Anthony Beauvillier. And the problem with Beau is he has his stretches where he's not he has cold streaks. He's going to maybe score, he'll rattle off maybe, 11 points in 10 games, and then he may go quiet for 15. He's one of those guys. He's a very streaky player, but the Islanders are hoping that they get more out of him as he continues to develop and plays alongside some good players on this team. And I think he will be a difference maker for the Islanders. And I think Beauvillier is a guy that he's getting his money, but it's also a bridge deal. It's, Lou Lamoriello basically telling him, listen, prove it to us. You've been a very streaky middle six, maybe top six forward. Show us that you're a true top six forward, and in your next contract, you will get paid so. And looking at Beauvillier, he's a former first-round pick. I think Garth Snow brought him into the fire a little bit too soon, but with that said, he's still a really talented player, and I think the Islanders get a real nice piece with Beauvillier. Now, moving along, now we start to get more of the other signings. Elias Saroquan and Kyle Palmieri. So we're going to go with Elias Saroquan first. Elias Saroquan signs a 3-year, $12 million contract. To do the math, $4 million per year for Elias Saroquan. Elias Saroquan, in his first full season with the New York Islanders, was a really big difference maker. He played in 22 games for the Islanders, had a .217 goals against average, and a .918 save percentage. And, it's definitely different from his stats that he had with CSKA Moscow over in Russia, where he was putting up .935, .940 save percentages, even a .953 at one point. But he's still a really solid goaltender. His first season in North America, the former third-round pick back in 2014, is still 26 years old. So the Islanders signed him to a contract where he could still make a big boatload of money when the time comes. And that's 3 years from now. He'll be 29 years old, going on 30, and he will be able to make his big money contract. Probably that big 5, 6, if he's lucky, maybe even 7-year contract, whether that's with the Islanders or wherever he wants to go. And he will also not be a restricted free agent. He will be have the opportunity to go into free agency if that's where he would like to go. So the Islanders keep the Russian tandem of Varlamov and Saroquan for the next couple of years, because remember, Varlamov is signed for the next couple of years with the Islanders. So this is the Islanders tandem moving forward, and that's probably a good thing for the Islanders, because it's looked pretty good so far. And I think Varlamov and Saroquan both have the potential to be starting goaltenders on any given night. And the Islanders did a really good job with that, and they're paying both of them combined less than $10 million, which is the goal. I think the Islanders did a good job with that. With that said, we are moving on to the last big contract, and there were some rumors at the deadline that Kyle Palmieri would maybe go back to the New Jersey Devils this summer. He grew up in New Jersey. He always wanted to play with the Devils, when he left the Anaheim Ducks. But he is now a member of the Islanders. I think he liked the environment, the atmosphere, and the playoffs with the Islanders at the Collie. And he stuck around, and now we will see Kyle Palmieri with the New York Islanders for the next 4 years. A 4-year, $20 million contract for Kyle Palmieri. This is a great contract for both sides. I think this could hurt the Islanders more so at the end of the deal, but because it's only a 4-year deal, I like this deal for the Islanders as well. They didn't give him that super long term that's going to take him till he's 36, 37 years old. He'll be 34 at the end of this deal. He's 30 years old now, so he'll be 34, so probably in the twilight of his career. And the Islanders give him his money. He's making $5 million per year, which is nothing to slouch at. That's a pretty nice salary there for Kyle Palmieri. And Kyle Palmieri, probably saw what the Islanders have and is thinking, you know what? I have a real chance to win a Stanley Cup here. And I think he saw what the Islanders are all about, what they were in the room, and he saw what the potential is on Long Island. Now, he maybe could have gone back to New Jersey, maybe gotten $6 million per year on a 5 or 6 year deal and gotten a lot more money in term from a team like the New Jersey Devils, but he wants to win. And he wants to win now. And at 30 years old, he's still enough of a player where he can contribute and be that player. I think he did really well with the New York Islanders last season. I think there was some talk from Islanders fans that, Kyle Palmieri is a nice fit, but we really wanted to get that Vlad Tarasenko, that Mark Stone, that Artemi Panarin, that guy, right? And this may be that guy for the Islanders. I think Lou Lamoriello may have just accepted, listen, we're a team that we don't have that big superstar name. We tried that with John Tavares, and it didn't work. So we're trying it this way, and we're going to see if we win. And you know what? For all the critics out there, the Islanders have gotten to the Eastern Conference Final the past 2 consecutive seasons without that star player. Now, some would argue that may be the difference for why the Islanders didn't go further is because they didn't have that player. But with a couple puck bounces here and there, the Islanders may have beaten Tampa Bay in that Eastern Conference Finals in Game 7. Really, the past 2 years. And now we're going to get on to 2 guys that didn't get mentioned for getting new contracts. There was a bunch of names that the Islanders were rumored to have signed, and a bunch of them I just mentioned here. I mentioned Beauvillier, I mentioned Suzikis, I mentioned Palmieri, and Elias Saroquan. But there were 2 names here that we didn't hear that we've heard rumored since free agency. And those 2 names were Travis Zajac, who was also a part of the Kyle Palmieri deal. And I also think there is something still going on here with Zach Parise and the New York Islanders. And for the most part, we've heard that Zajac and Parise may be locked in. But there's a problem, though. The Islanders have $0 in cap space right now, which means, how do you fit those guys in? Now, there may be something with the long-term injured reserve. There could be also some more deals coming down the pipeline. We've heard that, Lou Lamoriello may be still looking to move guys like Leo Komarov to free up that cap space. Thomas Hickey will likely go on the long-term injured reserve, or he may just play in the minors and they just bury that 2.5. But other than that, the Islanders are a very interesting team this year. I'm excited to see what they do because we've heard about Tarasenko. We've heard about even in Anaheim. I've heard these rumors recently. Josh Manson, Cam Fowler, Hampus Lindholm. Maybe one of those guys would look pretty good with the New York Islanders if they're able to maybe move out some cap space. So I think this worked out really good for the Islanders. They paid a heavy price for Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac. But now they have Kyle Palmieri now for potentially 5 playoff runs, including last year as a rental. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think of the New York Islanders signings? Which one's your favorite? Which one's your least favorite? And what's going on with guys like Zach Parise and potentially a guy like Travis Zajac coming back to the Islanders? Do you think they will return, or do you think they go somewhere else? And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, and more videos just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys again next time.